some good. Okay. Hey, everybody. What's going on? Troy Rawlings here. Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the. And today we meet the amazing creative genius, filmmaker, director, woman about the world. I was about to say about LA, about town, but you'll hear more about her. Please show your love. Make some noise from coast to coast, worldwide, globally, for Miss Meosha Bean. How are you, Meosha?
Hello. I was like, is there going to be applause that he's going to have like an audio?
Yeah.
Like...
Like Sandman Sims come out like,
Thank you. No, just kidding. No, thank you for having me. This is great. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for I get it in while I get it in. And we've been talking for a little while. I think shout out to Cyrus Webb for turning me on to you, telling me about all the amazing things you were doing. And this dispensation of time, I usually don't try to date it, but now that I got to sneeze, I don't want y'all to think something crazy is going on. You like even on camera, it's like I'm fine, really fine. But Meosha Bean, now some people are like, who is this sister? Some people already know about you. Like you said, you've been doing content creation for a while. You've been doing stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's start. We like to jump right into the interview and meet this. So where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Florida, Gainesville, Florida. Small little town in Florida.
So Gainesville, Florida.
Yep.
I'm not gonna. She's as young as she looks. I'm not even gonna touch the age because she shocked me. I was like, what? So you're in Gainesville.
Yeah.
When were you a child prodigy? Did you head towards acting first? What was your first introduction where you said, okay, I want to be a creative. I'm a star. Might not know it now, but I'm a star,
Well, it's funny. I've always kind of been a loner. My brother, I pay homage to my brother. My brother was in TV's film production, and he brought this camera home one summer, and I fell in love with it, and I ended up taking it and using it all the time and filming around the house. I was a kid, and so I fell in love. That was like my first initial love. I was like 7 or 8 at the time. And then I got older and I never put it down. I had VHS tapes of me in front of the camera and just wanting to create. And I was editing.
Hold on one second. Now, that was the point where she gave you a little hint. For those that don't know, a VHS tape was a tape about yay big. There was a VHS, it's called a VCR.
Yes.
A video cassette recorder. You put the VHS tape in, it's like Transformer. Make a lot of noise. So that was the first hint. Okay, continue.
And that's my age. No, I'm just kidding. So from then, I think it's around like 16. I think with my mom and I went to the library one summer or whatever. It was something. We went there together, and I ended up renting these tapes of Alfred Hitchcock tapes, the series. And I just fell in love with that genre and his work. And I was like, I want to become a horror filmmaker. Like, I want that genre. Like, I loved everything about him. I loved what he was doing, like these short stories and, the birds, Rear Window, just fell in love with everything he was making. And I was like, I want to do that. So I just started making short films with that kind of in that genre, that vein, thriller, scary ones or whatever. And I started my YouTube channel when YouTube was good at the time. And I became a YouTube partner, and I was making videos like every week. And I mean, they were getting hundreds and thousands of views. Like, I was getting followers, like people were like, oh, make more. I was like, this is great. Okay. So I just continued to make them. I always had a small little camera when I was making these videos and editing my own videos and putting them on my channel. And from there, it really opened up a lot of just conversation with people, other filmmakers or people who are want to do the same thing as what I was doing. So fast forward, my parents knew there was something to this, so they invested in me, and I ended up, apart from going to acting school and modeling, which I did it because it was like, you know, it's good to have the experience. It's not my love, my first choice, but why not?
And it helps if you look good. It helps when you look good and you can
Well,
actually. She's like, I did it because it was, you know, it was something.
no. I was just hearing a lot of people say you should try it, you know, give it a try, and I was like, okay. And from there, I ended up going to film school, Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida. Shout out to Orlando. I love Orlando. And that was kind of short-lived after a few years of there because honestly, it was like I was like in debt. Film school is very expensive for those out there. But it was great. All things I've learned as a you know, for cinematography. And then after leaving there, you know, it was like a dry spell for a minute. I was home and I was like, I don't know what I want to do, like where I'm going to go from, like what's going to happen, because, you know, no money. Like, what do you do to continue to? Like, yeah. And so I ended up getting this cool gig in Pensacola, Florida, to like make content for Roy Jones Jr. So that was like, okay.
Y'all must have forgot.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh.
Cool. Yeah, that was the beginning of, you know, it all. But I do believe that I always kind of, I don't know, it's weird. I kind of always known what I wanted to do when I was young. I was like, I want to do this. This is, there's nothing else that gives me complete joy or happiness, if that makes sense. Yeah.
And we were talking earlier, and I got to give a shout out to I'd be remiss, and I'll probably send this interview to you. Look, most of you get a chance to watch. You'll see a good amount of this on IGTV. For the full interview, you got to go to the YouTube channel, and also make sure you follow Meosha. Make sure you Meosha Bean. Meosha Bean official. Thank you. But a friend of mine, Francis Xavier, I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. He's a director, and the same thing. He's in the genre of like thriller, horror, the psychotic thriller type stuff. But he was in love. He's older than both of us. No offense, Francis, if you watch. But Alfred Hitchcock. He said Alfred Hitchcock was everything to him.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to hear you say that. I think Jordan Peele said the same thing about it. But you know, and so horror noir. When that was horror noir is one of your movies?
Yes, that was last year, 2019. That was cool. That was a cool project. That was really fun to be a part of. I was like, oh my god, this is absolutely incredible. A really good friend who's one of the producers on the movie, the documentary, was like, hey, Ashley, hi, shout out to you. She was like, hey, you should. How do you feel about coming on camera and talking about, you know, horror movies and film and talk about it on camera? I was like, okay, let's do it. So I had no idea what I was getting myself into, really. I just showed up because it sounded like fun, really. And it was actually our first time initially meeting in person. We had this online friendship for a long time, but we never actually met in person, and that was the first time we did, and I'm glad we did. It was really fun.
I always, you know, everybody has a formula for success. I think it's preparation plus opportunity. For me, it's plus action.
Yes.
Equals success, because you were definitely prepared when these opportunities came ahead. But we were talking about something. I interviewed Mike Birkenbein, and I was like, you seem to, because I hate to use it seems blessed. I hate to use the word luck, but it doesn't seem like you have had problems getting your films made and putting them out. Do you think that you attribute that to your experience doing the YouTube content, because it was so, I give mad credit. Another friend of mine from Baltimore, Dave Storm, he did a lot.
I met him. He's great.
Yeah. He's from Baltimore. I remember we all came up together. He was a little younger than me.
Crazy.
But to see what he did, I was literally talking to his brother. I think his brother was interviewing me. I was in Baltimore, and afterwards he was like, yeah, you got to see what Dave Storm is doing. I was like, what do you mean? He said, Storm? You haven't seen what he's doing? YouTube? I was like, no, and so he's been doing it for a while now, but I have to give mad credit to the creatives that came off of YouTube, did the whole piece with Vine, went on to have great success on Instagram. But creating these mini movies, do you think creating the mini movies gave you everything you needed to transition over to short film and then feature film? Or what did you, because you've been like you said, your brother was doing production, TV production, so you've been working with cameras for a while. So what did you naturally have? What did you get from school? I guess my main thing is, it just seems like it was a smooth transition from you. Like you didn't stop.
Honestly, it was funny. That's interesting. I think definitely YouTube definitely contributed to the process of how it works, because I have no choice but to kind of seek out that what I want on my own. Like there's so much information out there. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna figure out how to edit. I'm gonna try to do it because I can't pay for an editor because editing is crazy amount of money, which I didn't have at the time. So I'm like, I'm gonna just teach myself because I want it out. And I mean, there's, thank God for YouTube, because there was like people doing tutorials videos, like, just putting out, like, I mean, you can essentially go to film school. You can essentially learn anything online if you really, get into it and find, what's out there, the information. And then just apply it. And that's what I, would do. I would watch this, I would watch a lot of tutorials and just kind of take certain things that I felt that were cool and then just kind of perfect it in a way. Mm-hmm. And use that kind of, and I knew what I knew the genre, I knew what I wanted to talk about. I knew that the message for me personally, I just wanted to figure out how to, stay true to myself, but also to get that audience. And when YouTube was good, I always say when YouTube was good, because it's so saturated right now.
You said that a couple of times, but I understand what you mean. It's one thing when creatives were making content that you really wanted to stick around and see. It's another thing where everybody comes on and create. My daughter, I think, is about to start a YouTube channel. I was like, where? I'm setting up like a green room in my little bedroom. I was 8. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you going to talk about? Not that I'm not trying to be that dad though. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's great that she's doing that. It's just kind of hard to get your content seen when there's so many people online. So when it was like less people, it was getting views. Like, I mean, I got 1 million of views. Like, that was great view count then. But now, obviously it's much harder to get that now. But I would say definitely YouTube was definitely contributed to me learning the process of making a film. But I love watching movies, so I would just watch films and learn, what are the greats doing, not just Alfred Hitchcock. I would watch shows, series, Twilight Zone, just all kind of things that interest me and that I wanted to make. I never really liked romance. I never really, that doesn't, it has to have psychological theme for me. I don't know why. I just like something that's kind of trippy. I don't.
That's what. Now is your most recent, is Anti-Hero your most recent film?
Anti-Hero actually was a series that was presented to me through a friend of mine. His name is Alan Delabie, and he's over there in France. He's the writer. Shout out to you. He was like, hey, I have this series that I wrote. Check it out. Let me know if you like it. And let me know. Just get back with me. He actually did the first season in France. The first season. And I watched it and I read it. And I was like, I love it. It's cool. It's definitely something that's outside of my element, my kind of genre. It's action first and foremost. Right. Which I don't do or know anything about. So for me, I think as a creator or as a filmmaker, I want to push myself, and grow. So I was like, sure, I'll do it. I like the story. Let's try it. So we ended up, he comes to LA. We ended up shooting the season 2 here. It was martial arts, so that was another world, which it was really cool to really get an understanding of how this, works far as like camera movement works, you know how that
choreography. Right.
choreo. Oh man, it's insane. It's amazing, but like there's a lot of work that goes into it. So much respect for action filmmakers. That's that's another world, I tell you. But we did it, and it took a few years to actually make season 2. I did 2, 3, and 4, and we wrapped it up, and we were going to like have it as a series and put it out. But then we were talking and said, the distribution companies, those guys, it's easier to sell a feature versus a series, especially when it's like not, you don't really have too many if you don't have known actors, you know what I mean? So, right. But we had a few people that were, of name on the show, that was a way to help sell the movie as a feature. So we ended up kind of going back and fixing it up, cleaning it up, and making it into a feature. And now it's out during quarantine. It's like, yeah, it's like a great time for it to be out.
Well, mad viewership.
Yeah, right. So we're like really happy. So it just released in DirecTV and Spectrum right now, and it'll be out DVD, Blu-ray, I think next week or so. And then Amazon and all those other spots. Netflix, hopefully. We're still talking. Hopefully that's a thing. So that'll be cool.
Now, ideally, what's your horror piece? How many horror pieces have you done so far?
Ooh, maybe definitely 30. Like all together that I was in, and either I shot or was in, or I either directed. Yeah, about 30.
So that's your love, that's your passion. And right now, what are you working on currently?
Right now I'm doing so there's a few things I'm doing. There's a lot of scripts I'm reading. I'm actually doing a lot of auditioning. My agent's been sending me a lot of acting stuff, so like voice acting stuff. So that's been kind of cool. But at the moment, I'm working on this little kind of horror series, but like just podcasts. I'm gonna put it out like once I'm done with it, and put it out on Spotify and those places like that. Our show Tea Talks with Meosha and Irina. It's a web series show that's on Facebook and YouTube, and we talk about relationships and all kind of things. So that's out now, season 3. Spotify also has some podcasts as well as video. So yeah, just trying to stay creative during quarantine.
We have to talk a little bit about that too, because you think about it when you talk about Alfred Hitchcock,
yeah,
and Orson Welles and people like that, and a lot of the original, a lot of the original horror were first on radio.
Yes,
there were stories you could turn on and listen to, a story and the readings and stuff like that. I haven't seen too many people take advantage of that side of podcasts and radio like it used to. But what's so funny is we're in that dispensation of time again. It's where content is king, and any new video is great, but to be able to listen, I mean, think about how many of us were doing books, like you said, books and studying listen to a book on YouTube or a podcast or whatever, but to actually hear a series or a horror film, I love that piece. Now, who are some people that you really would love to work with? It seems like you're positioning yourself in a place where I'm sure I don't have your Rolodex, but I'm sure people are reaching out to you like, I want to see what fingerprint she can put on it, what she can do, what she can move, how she can move this forward.
Oh wow! Yeah, there's a lot of people. I really like Jordan Peele. I like what he's doing. I would love to just sit down and kind of pick his brain. I think he's super brilliant, honestly. And his direction and what he's what he's doing is it's so smart. He's so smart. And I just want to just sit down and talk to him about maybe, I don't know, working on something one day. It doesn't have to be something major, but just even a conversation would just be great, right? With him and coffee and talking about movies and stuff.
Well, thank Jordan.
right. There's so many people. Man, I love Stanley. Okay. Um, Stanley Kubrick was one of my
We about to say Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick was one of my favorite, like, honestly, directors, cinematographers. He's really good. I would say the next, if he was living, I would love to work with him. But I love his movies. He's another inspiration. But Roger Deakins, I would love to work with him. Like, he's definitely top of my list of.
Okay, Roger Deakins. You got to tell me about him.
Oh gosh. He's a cinematographer for 1917, A Beautiful Mind, No Country for Old Men. Have you seen that one?
Yes, that was hard.
My God,
that was hard.
Crazy, right? He's like one of the best. He got I think he got an Oscar last year at the Oscar Awards. Yeah, he got an Oscar for his for 1917 actually. Have you seen that movie? 1917?
You're the second person that mentioned that movie to me. So because you got to be in me personally, I have to be in the mood for a war film. In an old war film where it's like, but I saw some of the shots and cinematography, and that's what made me say, oh, I kind of do want to.
It's definitely worth a watch. I mean, if anything, it's like just eye candy. It's just every frame. It's beautiful. Like, I would have just loved to be a fly on the wall on that set, But yeah, that's definitely someone. And then I would love to work with you. Let's do it. You're on my list of working together.
I heard that. Now I have to find the right I'm getting excited about the creative piece I'm doing. I told you, like, me even starting to meet the show was to, work on my interview chops, make sure I'm staying in front of the camera and doing what I love to do, interviewing people and interesting people like yourself, but also being in LA, meeting the creatives like you. That's amazing. But I'm the type of person who would like to sit down and see where you'd like to take it. Because you mentioned Jordan Peele, of course, a couple times. He's doing some phenomenal things. But I interviewed a friend of mine who's an actor, comedian, Rick Younger. He's in New York, and he worked on Last OG. So I hadn't seen, I think I might have saw one episode, but I started watching Last OG and got hooked. Because you think it's going to go a certain way. I like Tracy Morgan's raw comedy. I really like Tiffany Haddish in comedic acting roles. Nice. Probably did more than I like her stand-up. I love her comedic acting. And but it was so edgy, and I almost forgot Jordan had did it because it would push the envelope.
All right.
Malik Yoba and the different people in it, it pushed the envelope, and then it would go a different direction. And it was like, you don't always expect that for a comedy, but it was a real type of comedy. And the fact that it was in New York and it felt like New York, and those are great elements. And so for me to work with somebody like yourself, I would definitely take some sitting down and seeing. I like artists to be artists. Yes. I wouldn't be like, no, I don't see that. It's like, no, put me. Especially when I come out the gate, I'd be like Chris Tucker. They talked about Chris Tucker, why he kind of fell off. He did this, he did that. No, he got very picky after Friday. And if you look at the body of work he did, he's like, I ain't getting paid no money, man. And,
that's really good. Wow.
Pretty good. But the body of work, I'm excited to see what else you put your hands to, because it seems like you've been continuously going up ladder. And I mentioned that to you because we know a lot of creative, know a lot of filmmakers, but you said something key. You said your parents believed in you and they invested in you.
Yes.
So that's pretty dope, because I was like, it seems like you're just creating, and I guess it's kind of obvious because I am that kind of, I was joking around with my daughter earlier, but to see something in your children, I'm talking to parents too, that's that profound. 8 years old, you start grabbing the camera and you don't put it down. I guess they're like, okay, what's she gonna do? Yeah. But country folk, your mom's from the country, your father's Cuban.
Southerners for sure. That's Southern girl, Southern belle. that comes with it, like who had a dream, that's all.
How long have you been here in Los Angeles?
Oh, now I think 5 years. Well, yeah, 5 years, almost 6 now. Almost 6 now. Yep, it'll be 6 soon. Yeah.
How you like it?
I like it. I like it. I just only downfall I think for me is just I miss my family. I do miss my mom, and my dad. I miss Puppy and Mommy. I talk to them every day though. I do. I'm guilty. I'm that girl. I'm the baby. So I mean.
Don't apologize for being a good daughter. Don't apologize for it. It could be totally the other way. He's like, I haven't talked to my parents in ages. No,
that would just be
so. So you have your auditioning. You're doing things. Is there a are you also writing more now? Are you creating your own content, or are you just kind of open to whatever's coming in? Because I was like, I wanted to say, is there a pet project that you really want to do? Like for me, I love rom-com. So romantic comedy is one of the things that I really want to get pulse with, from writing to getting involved with the whole thing. I deal with sex, love, and relationship on my comedy tour and talk show stuff. And, so I love that vein. But at the same time, I want to do a film about Benjamin Banneker. Nobody's done it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, since everybody's green lighting ex-slave films, I figure grab some of the best ex-slaves I can do. Yes, that pun totally intended. Take it how you want.
Yeah. Hey, it's the time.
Let's talk about somebody that created some stuff that everybody used in a place where everybody functions from, DC. So, so is there a pet project that you really would love for your fingerprint to be on, come forth and do something positive?
Yeah, there was a project. My friend Lucy, if she sees this, shout out to you. She had this project. I actually, okay, so I don't write. I don't really write. I have ideas. I jot them down, and then I'll send them to people who I know who are experts writers, and I'm like, hey, do you think I'm crazy? Is this too much, or am I just being a bit? Am I out of world? And they're like, no, it's good, and they'll help me kind of like, we'll talk it out, and I'll come back and clean it up if it's something that I think is worth like investing in, or if I think it's good. Because I don't write. I tell people already, I'm not there. I'm not there, but I just have ideas.
That's good, because you know your strengths, and you obviously have a good team of people that trust you behind that camera.
Yes. My mentor, Ronnie Warner, I love you. That guy he's just like, love him so much. I think I mention him in like everything I do, because he's such a someone that I look up to. He's a writer and producer, director. I mean, he's done it all. And I definitely look up to him for advice, and so he's helped me with so much. I'd say something that I want to do is, my friend Lucy, she had a project called 7 Magpies, and it was, we got some press out there about it. It's about 7 women directors, 7 women writers, African American, who make this horror anthology. But it would take like these different stories, almost like nursery rhymes, but like kind of each story would kind of tie into the other. We were trying to finish that and we were trying to do that, but I think right now we're just trying to raise the money for it, because we had some really talented ladies on board that were like, African American and in doing that genre, which I was like, let's do it. Like I've never seen that before, and that was exciting to me. So yeah, let's see. Hopefully
I think I got somebody for you to talk to.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Lucy,
after the interview, guys, after the interview. All right. How can people get in touch with you? How can people see your work, get in touch with you, find out more about Meosha Bean?
Meosha Bean Official is like literally my Instagram and Twitter. I am on Facebook, Meosha Bean. That's Meosha, and then my last name's Bean. Yes, like a bean and rice.
Had some amazing beans last night. Amazing.
I bet. Oh, really? Did you cook it? Did you make them?
Oh yeah, that's part of my past. I can throw down a little bit.
All right, ladies, do you hear that?
Please. All right, ladies, calm down. Hey, fellas, you making movies?
Down below.
Right. Exactly. Meosha Bean, thank you for taking time out and chilling with us. Please, everybody, go right now. Follow Meosha Bean Official on Instagram. Go and check out some of her projects and grab her ear. If you're a creative and you want some information, I'm sure you can get it. She's easy to talk to. She's here to help. And we're going to see a lot more from her in the very near future. Thank you for taking a minute with me. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye. All right.